This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
G'day, guys. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host with almost no sleep, Summer Helene.
And I am...
with less sleep. Oh, you're Bear.
I'm Bear.
Fine, you can come too.
And I'm a soon-to-be goner, for that matter, as well.
So we were at this event last night. It was fantastic.
Oh, yes, for Vinivia, the new live streaming app.
Yeah, it was really, really good. The event was fantastic.
They had J-Lo playing. They had
It was a J-Lo impersonator.
They said it was really J-Lo.
No, okay. Well, it was a J-Lo impersonator. They had Pitbull.
Oh, okay. They had Pitbull. Pitbull impersonator?
No, it was actually Pitbull.
It was actually Pitbull.
And I nearly stepped on him.
There.
Yeah, I nearly stepped on him. That was awesome.
That's not a good sign.
I don't know. He's kind of a douche anyway. I don't care. He brings these couple of girls with him in these like trash ass outfits. Like, look, these girls are my accessories. I'm like, dude, you are not Snoop. Snoop can pull this off and it's cute. You just look skeezy and old.
That's a lot. I hope Pitbull isn't listening to this right now. Oh, actually, we should bring him on the show.
Can I call him skeezy and old?
If that is what you want to do on the show, you're welcome to call Pitbull skeezy and old.
I'm just saying. I'm so tired, babe.
Well, how'd you think about the rest of it?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm happy it's out now because now we start talking about it and doing stuff with it.
I know. Well, I want to talk with Louie. I want to talk with Louie in a couple of weeks and see how it goes. This is my ice roller because I've had no sleep.
Makes sense.
Well. I'm trying to get rid of puffiness under my eyes. Thus far, I failed.
You know, these ice roller things, what is the purpose of them? What are they actually doing for you?
So it gets rid of some of the puffy. Not that, God, you really need some lotion under your eyes. Kitty, would you do me a favor and get some of that really thick Wella lotion out of my black Dior bag? You need lotion. Your manager told you to start using lotion under your eyes because you're getting bags.
Yeah, I'm so bad about moisturizing, guys. I'm not unsmooth, but I am definitely wrinkly. You know, you should probably warn somebody when you start spraying liquid in their eyes. Just an observation. You don't have to take me up on it.
You get punched for money.
I don't feel like one has anything to do with the other.
If you can't handle rose water being spritzed in your face, you shouldn't be getting punched for money.
Hey, everyone's got their things, you know? Now, after I'm
put
done
this under your eyes.
Okay, I'll put this under my eyes. And should we explain to the audience what we have to do for today's?
Oh yeah, we'll be going through this. So
little
Kitty,
food challenge,
who's fantastic, she's one of our producers here.
Well,
she came on last week, and she's the one that got the chamoy pickle. Next week, God knows what she's going to get him. But for this week, she's been going through TikTok and she's been picking different challenges for him to eat.
Yeah.
Now, you saw us. We've tried the 12 days of Christmas. We've tried all sorts of things. But it's much more fun just to try and get one thing and see if Bear will eat it.
It's much more fun just to watch me in pain.
Is today's.
It's a little bit backwards. So what does it say?
It's the one chip challenge.
It's the 2024 edition. It's got Carolina Reaper and Trinidad Scorpion seasoning on it.
You might, that your blue gloves are invisible.
No, I need to wear those.
No, it comes with clear ones.
Does it come with clear gloves?
Yeah. You get one glove.
I get a single glove.
Kitty, may I have some scissors, please? Oh, no, ma'am. We are going to be having him eat this. Now, he's going to eat the whole thing in one bite.
Why can't I just take a couple of bites? Can't I just try it?
Because you are not going to take a couple of bites. You're going to eat it once. Now, here is the rules.
Does it at least taste good? That's my concern.
Okay, well, here, everything tastes good. You like food. Read this. To everyone.
Let's see.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
Eat at your own risk. Not everyone will enjoy the extreme heat. Do not eat if you are sensitive to spicy food. Me. Allergic to peppers or capsicum. Not me. If you are pregnant or have any medical condition, please do not eat this chip. Keep out of reach from children. What to expect? This chip has been purely created for the sheer pleasure of intense heat and pain. Expectations are, I'm getting a call from South Africa.
Why is your phone on during the show?
Bad timing. The expectation here is to have your mouth on fire, a runny nose, watering eyes, and a lot of curse words. Are you ready for the challenge? Absolutely not.
Remember, every time we swear, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and free MMA.
Because we swear because we care.
Oh, good. We're hooked up. Good luck, Bear. I love this. Everyone's saying hello.
Don't chicken out. Good luck, Bear. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Abdel saying this. All right, Kitty, would you take this, please? All right, Bear, open this up. Don't get it anywhere on the table. Can I have a wet rag, please?
Oh, man.
Okay, and so he's going to put the whole thing.
I'm trying to open it up in the first place.
So take the whole chip.
I'm going to smell it first.
Okay, you can smell it.
I wouldn't.
There's our producer in the background going, nah.
I can't even get the damn thing out.
Just change the angle.
Okay, I'm working it out.
There you go. Now hold it in front of the thing. Okay.
Why would someone put this in their mouth? There's a chip on your shoulder. Thanks, brother.
You liked the chamoy pickle last week.
I hated the chamoy pickle last week.
You'll like this one. Let's take the glove. Now then the trick is you see how long you can go without water, without anything. Can I have a bucket in case he vomits? Can we get a vomit bag? Because some people do. Mm-hmm. How are we doing?
It's picking up.
It's picking up. Here's this in case you need a tissue. How's that feeling? He put the whole thing.
Oh man.
The best part is it also has to come out. It's gonna burn both. Don't rub your eyes, babe. It's gonna get worse.
I have hiccups. And whoever you are, fuck you.
There's the vomit bag. Milk. We have vanilla ice cream and we got some honey here. Our sound engineer suggested honey. I'm gonna get that on a spoon. How babe? So how spicy is this, my darling?
I hate myself.
Is it really that bad? I'm trying to get the honey out. Now, honey's supposed to coat your mouth. Here you go. You're supposed to talk about the chip. Yeah. Okay. Ice cream? Well, I don't think we're going to be discussing the I don't think we're going to be discussing the one chip challenge. Are you okay, honey? He's punching the ice cream. It's now not a good time to remind you that you're supposed to be cutting down calories for your fight. If I take that ice cream, he may fight me. Mm-hmm. I have a vomit bag. Okay, we've now tried honey. We have tried milk, ice cream. Don't touch, you got it. Okay, so the one chip challenge. You ate it. Not many people do. They usually take a nibble off the corner, then quit. Why are you kicking our table? You know, I'd like to remind you, our table is from the 1920s. Ooh. Ice cream for ice cream, yes. Bear is contemplating his life choices. Big shout out, please. G'day, Gary. Okay. Does anyone have anything else that might work for this? Because so far we've tried ice cream, we've tried honey, we've tried milk. Do you want more milk? Ice cream's working the best? Ice cream's working the best. Okay. We've tried the honey. Okay. So is it a little bit spicy?
Yeah.
What was the best part of that chip?
Nothing. It's fucking disgusting.
Come on. Did it not even have a good flavor? It didn't seem to hurt you when you first bit into it. It seemed to take a second. Move on to camera. People want to know how your chip was.
Sorry, it's so silent, guys.
Okay, so
mayonnaise? I get bullshit. Next, they're gonna tell me spicy mustard.
Okay, are you done with the ice cream? You are not done with the ice cream. Are you gonna eat the entire tub of ice cream?
I might.
Is now when I remind you you're supposed to be cutting weight for a fight? I don't think he's cutting weight for a fight today. Is it still burning?
Yes.
Why?
Just talk to the audience.
Well, we have our pastor coming on, and I'm really excited about that. Welcome, Jeremy. We'll be with you right now while Bear is dying. Do you have any yogurt? They're suggesting yogurt.
This is ass. Are you kidding me?
Watch your mouth with the pastor on.
Sorry, Father.
Listen,
we're working on that.
no, that feels like some straight up bullshit. Like there is no.
It is. Yeah. Oh my God! Why would anyone eat this thing?
Right. I was just watching Bear die over there, and I was just like, Summer, why didn't you do it?
Oh, I'm allergic to like half of the stuff in it. So I wanted to do the chamoy pickle one last week, but I have so chemically induced lupus. So I can't eat a lot of foods and things. Right, and every time I do, I end up with a rash, which is sometimes funny and sometimes hospital. So we kind of weigh out which is funnier in the day.
Yeah, that's fair. So
I'm tempted. I'm like, I should probably take the ice cream because he's cutting for a fight. But if I do, he might fight me.
It's the worst fight.
This is the worst fight. Really, you are a cage fighter, and this is the worst 5 minutes of your life.
I'm finally able to breathe.
It's only up from here, bro. You're good.
Yeah,
it's only up from here. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You get punched. He gets punched in the face by UFC fighters, but this is where he draws the line.
Yeah.
While I'm slowly dying, sir, why don't you let the audience know who you are and what you do?
Yeah. He was supposed to read your intro. You see how this went?
No, that was great planning. No, my name is Jeremy Coleman. I'm on TikTok and Instagram at Pastor from OK, and platform kind of took off a couple of years ago, and just talking about issues inside of American evangelicalism and how we should be more inclusive and more loving and more compassionate towards one another. And so, that's kind of that's the 30,000 foot view. And I've got a chance to hang out with y'all a few times. And now we get to do it face to face, which is even better. So.
I know the radio station made us do it. I tried to keep it all.
You stand for everything that chip does not.
he's
inclusivity and kindness. That chip segregates people.
Yeah, that's right. Although it could be argued that it is the thing that maybe America needs to bring us all together, because who could ever actually enjoy that? We could agree across the aisle that is pretty bad.
That's the one thing.
It doesn't even taste good.
Right.
It's one thing if it tastes good and you have the hot. It doesn't taste. It tastes like crap. Like garbage. Stop.
Are you done with your ice cream? Ow!
No.
He's gonna bite your arm off here in a second.
Yeah, he's eating the entire tub of ice cream. The problem I'm trying to take, he's lactose intolerant. This isn't going to end well.
Do you think it matters when I have the chip already?
This is a business decision at this point. It's not going to go well coming out either way, and so
he's just got to decide.
No, he's just yeah. This is all business at this point. He has decided that his face health is more important.
You cannot ever give this to me again.
I think he's mad at his producer.
Our food producer.
His producers.
We literally brought someone on for the purpose of finding food.
Yeah, her whole job. She comes on. She finds different things for him to eat. Last week was the chamoy pickle. He couldn't even swallow it.
Oh, geez. You're a brave guy, Bear. Knowing that you're a fighter like that obviously makes it pretty obvious. I would hope to some people that, you're willing to do the tough stuff, but I don't know about these chips, man. I've been punched in the face before. I would take that way before I took one of those chips. So
yeah. Oh my God. Wait, why were you punched in the face?
Listen, man, are we really going to get into that right now?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I have been so. Obviously I had my younger days when, just guys occasionally disagree with things and, throw hands to settle beef. Like that's just I think that's part of the thing. But the last fight I was in has been in my married life. I'll say that. And it was a situation where somebody called my wife a bitch, and like you can kind of say whatever you want about me, but when he started talking about her, that's when we had to go to fisticuffs. So
you're the right kind of man. Like I'm just saying, you see guys doing all kinds of dumb stuff for all kinds of dumb reasons. I like that your line is, you know what, say what you want to me. You hurt my wife, I'll kill you.
That was it, right? Like you can call me all the names in the book. Like I've been called worse by better people, like it's not that big of a deal. But when you start calling my wife names and all the nonsense that went with that, I kind of blacked out for a second. And, these things happen.
I think people have gotten a little bit too comfortable with insulting and like berating or attacking people. Like it's funny because the world of today, people have only become better fighters, or at least people have only become more confrontational. And so I can't imagine why someone would still think that is going to go away. Like you can't insult somebody and expect nothing to happen. It just doesn't make sense.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Right.
Is my motto, and so I'll stand for the things I believe in, and that means a lot of different ways, right? Like, so if that's a verbal dispute, it is what it is. If we're gonna have wits, a battle of wits, that's fine too. But when you're in my face screaming at me and telling me that my wife is a hoe, like,
wow,
we're probably not gonna have a verbal dispute. It's gonna be physical at that point, and I think Jesus is cool with it, so I'm not worried about it.
Jesus is cool with throwing them hands.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're talking about a guy who walked into the temple one day and started flipping tables and popping people with whips because they were defiling the name of God. So, righteous anger happens sometimes, and it is what it is.
And your wife a bitch does it, and apparently eating hot chips. You're still sweating.
Man, my mouth, I can talk normally, but my mouth is still not even a chance.
Figured it would cool you off.
My mouth is still so on fire right now. Is there something else? Do you
want to lick my ice roller?
This thing?
Just bring me all the stuff.
No, don't put that goes on my face.
I was gonna put my tongue on it.
Oh, let's not do that again.
No, oh right, that's gonna get clipped now.
There's a meme.
I like sending her off for more milk. So you got into TikTok during the pandemic. You got really big there. Can you tell everyone a little bit about how you got big while we try and get now the spice off the roller that goes on my eyes?
Right. Right. Yeah. So I started posting some stuff about some of my social beliefs and political beliefs, and it just kind of varied a lot from the traditional conservative Oklahoma red state pastor narrative. And I think it was kind of a purple elephant in a sense, right? Like people just wanted to poke it and see what made it tick. Like they wanted to know why I believed the things I believed. So I started just kind of answering some of those questions, and the views just were stacking up. The followers were just stacking up. It was absolutely crazy. And so it's been a really fun journey. It's been like almost 4 years now that I've been doing that content. I've taken a little bit of time off in the last year, not making as much content. But that's just kind of where it all started. And I think that a lot of the things I talk about resonate deeply, and people were at home during the pandemic really with an opportunity to kind of reflect on the things that they believed, the things that they were a part of. And they started seeing how negative the church was towards science and logic and just all of these things that matter. And so I think that, coupled with the Trump presidency from 2016 to 2020, and then with January 6th and everything that kind of happened around that, it really disenfranchised and disillusioned a lot of people toward the church. And so I think the wool kind of came off a lot of people's eyes, and I just happened to be in a space speaking about that. And so it was kind of right time, right place, I think, is probably the best thing to say. I don't think I'm that interesting, but I think that I was talking about something that added to the narrative, and people wanted to join that conversation. And so I was just willing to share my thoughts out loud. And so that's just kind of what's happened. And so it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. It does have its challenges. It does have its headaches, but I've certainly enjoyed it. And I don't take it for granted, because, I never thought I'd be somebody who, quote unquote, the students, that I work with now, my day job is in a local school. And so the students that I work with now, their thing is, they're like, oh, Coleman's TikTok famous or whatever. But, I never thought I'd be that guy, but it is what it is. And it's fun. I think the most life-giving portion of it is just the fact that I see people feel like that they can be loved for who they are, and that they don't feel like God hates them, and that they don't have to listen to the narrative of like the church and everything hating them. So that's good.
Well, I think that's kind of what makes you interesting anyways. You say that you don't think you're particularly interesting. You being willing to talk about these things is what does it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is your personality. That is why that's what is interesting about you, is you are willing to broach those conversations. You know what I mean?
I have one I want to jump on right now. So you're familiar with like the trad wife thing that's gotten really, really popular. They're trying to move away from, they don't want to be associated with housewives, but it's a trad wife thing, which is essentially kind of a show of being a housewife versus kind of being a housewife.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that? And like ST Williams and all of those girls that have kind of jumped onto the alpha male bandwagon?
So they are,
they're promoting,
I
guess, traditional.
You gotta look into this. So it's a politicized version of the housewife. So rather than a housewife, the trad wife, ST is like the lead one. If you get a chance, look her up. She dresses like she's from the 1950s. She's all about, our job's to not work, not talk back, stay home, take care of our husbands. And they're not showing a real version of what it's like to be a housewife, staying home, wiping asses and cleaning up. It's like, look, I made Cocoa Puff cereal from scratch every day.
Why would you do that?
It's weird. It's so weird. But it's like this politicized version, and it's turned into like this trad wife to food stamps line, where a bunch of these women are getting into these relationships, and there seems to be these alpha male guys. You're familiar with the hooking up with these chicks, and it has turned into a disaster.
I think they're right for each other.
I think they're terrible. I think this is fully influenced by TikTok. Nobody in their right mind is going to turn around and go, do you know, like next week, don't get me wrong, next week we have Just Pearly Things on. We'll be talking to her and discussing, why she thinks women shouldn't vote.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so that I can't say I'm shocked. Like, nothing shocks me anymore, especially coming from that whole realm of thought process. But I think probably my question would be are these women, like, is this really who they want to be, or are they just so indoctrinated in this cultish behavior that they feel like that's the only way for them to get honest, like to honestly get attention and to be attractive to a man? Like, or are they so brainwashed that that's like how they think?
Pick me girls meet the look, I want to farm girls. You know how the girls will like look at TikTok and be like, I want to live on a farm. And I'm like, chick, do you know what it is actually like to milk a cow at 4 a.m.? What the hell do you mean you want to live on a farm?
Yeah, right.
French tips. Come on now.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like the pick me girls meet the idealized, I wish I had a farm girls. Look, I made sourdough bread this one time.
Yeah, but it's so dangerous, right? Because it's encouraging more, which we already have a misogyny problem in our country to begin with. And it's going to only continue to make that problem worse. It's going to compound that issue, because there's going to be girls on TikTok watching this thinking that that is how they're supposed to interact with men and be treated that way. You want to dress like the 1950s, act like the 1950s. Do you also want your man to hit you like it's the 1950s? Like, I sure hope not, because that in and of itself is so harmful.
You rape your wife at that point in time. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, it seems to be just this huge push to kind of go back in time.
Well, it's
socially.
But everyone's always done that. It's an idealized thing. Quick shout out. Gary says hello to Jeremy.
Gary.
It's we've always had this thing where we want to go back in time, but we forget when you go back in time, you're dealing with segregation, you're dealing with sexism, you're dealing with, there are good times to go back in time. Like if I was in Iran, I'd want to go back to the 60s. Women could wear, mini skirts before it was a religious.
Yeah, but sure. Well, and
cases, it's not good.
But that is like such a different situation because Iran was a free state with democracy and women empowerment and women-owned businesses, and then now they are this hell that is owned by these religious radicals.
But this is how they got there, is this same ideology being pushed, is what we're seeing with like S.T. Williams, what we're seeing with these girls pushing this idea that we need to go back in time. That's how Iran got there.
Well, and that is what's so dangerous about the radical right wing in our current country, is that they want to go back to a time when only white middle class and upper class men had any power, and those are the days that they believe were the best days, and that is so problematic. It's going to take us back not just years but centuries, and I fear that influence in our country because they disguise it with religion. They disguise it with all these moral values that they call moral, but really at the end of the day, it's just a power play. It's because they used to own the table and every seat at the table. Now, all of a sudden, these folks that they don't like or don't understand are having seats at the table, having voices at the table. Some of those people are getting to the front of the table, and that makes them just really uncomfortable. So it's not so much that they want to like have this day and time that was like, old time religion or any of these kinds of things. It's literally just, I'm losing my power. And if we went back to this, I would have complete control again. I would have control over the women. I would have control over, immigrants and people of color. I would have control over those things. That's really ultimately what it is. It's, I want control. And so we have to go back in time for me to get that. It's not religious.
They don't have what they had now. Well, the modern age has definitely made it to where, generally speaking, people are more equal and treated fairly, but we're kind of, like I said, pushing back towards it because it's what they want. They want that power.
The way people get there, look at The Handmaid's Tale. You have to get women to agree to this. So by getting all these chicks on TikTok to push that old school, it's what happened. It's what happened in Iran. They had to get women to agree. I do have to say, though, I don't think it's just the right. Hear me out on this. I'm a foreigner, but like when you go far right or far left, you end up in exactly the same place. No science, flat earth, anti-vax, weirdness. It doesn't matter if it's right or left. You go too far in either direction, it's like this loop.
Oh, yeah.
You end up at crazy.
They just meet on the backside. Like,
it's funny how much they hate each other and how much they have in common.
Yes, they're the same person. I'm like, I've had conversations with people. I'm like, oh, so you're hardcore right or you're hardcore left? Like, you can't tell? No.
Right. Well, extremist anything is bad, right? Like everything is better in moderation, if that makes sense. Like it's crazy to me that like when you look at the American political spectrum right now,
you have two octogenarians running for office.
That, and then on top of that, it's like listening to all of these like crazy ideas, and the most sound voice in the Republican room right now is Mitt Romney. who is this is a Mormon man, like, who lives in Utah and has billions of dollars, and he's the only sound voice like in the room at this point. And it's so crazy to think about that we've kind of come to a place like that where we don't have more bipartisanship, where we don't have more people trying to work together and just to find common ground and commonality. It is harder to do that, but it breeds better things at the end of the day, because then more people
you guys had, what was it? It was McCain wanted to run with Lieberman before he got Sarah Palin, who's a total drunk. FYI, she's a drunk. Her husband's a separatist who believes that that Alaska should be separated from all of America. I had a friend that worked with her on Sarah Palin's Alaska. She got so drunk she fell out of the boat. Hardcore, non-functional alcoholic. Wow. Woman's a nut job. But of course, running against a black guy, their response is, we need a woman. I'm like, I really think he should have just still run with Lieberman. That would have been great. Bipartisan.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Make that a thing.
You know what they have agreed on? You know what is bipartisan? The fucking TikTok ban.
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get
it. You don't want other countries.
Oh, I do. It makes perfect sense. I mean, listen. The reason that they love it is because it's a way to control the narrative that people are seeing. They just want to control the narrative. And I'm not really a conspiracy theory guy, but tell me this, why is it, and I've kind of been on a health journey the last probably 6 or 8 months and we can get into that if y'all want, but a lot of my life has changed, and I've just looked into, like, for example, the things that are in our food that we eat in America every single day, like the preservatives and things that they give you in your food. They're not regulating that. They're not regulating firearms to keep my kids safe at school in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Absolutely.
Here's one for you. The lupus I was talking about having, where I have those food allergies, actually came from eating the food in America. Had I stayed in Australia, I would never have gotten sick. It never would have happened. My body had such a negative reaction, and it's happened to a lot of people I know that have moved to the US. I ended up with what's called chemically induced lupus that became just lupus. So certain foods, and you're dead right on the foods, my body genuinely thinks they're poison.
Yeah.
American food, my body thinks is poison.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, yeah, and that's exactly right. Now, so here we are with food that's bad for us. We've got, we can make attaining a firearm the same process as getting a driver's license. I mean, make it like those kinds of steps. That I'm not saying take all the guns and throw them in the river. I'm saying let's at least make the process more challenging so that we know where these things are going, right? Registration and
it's not so ridiculous that an average sane person could do it. Average insane people get driver's licenses. It's not like it's incredibly out of the water, impossible.
Yeah. I think you guys should do it to the letter of the Constitution. If they want a bloody musket, let them have one.
Yeah, let them have a musket.
Everybody gets a bloody musket.
Yeah, you become 18, they issue you a musket.
There you go. Everyone gets a musket. From that point on, if you want like a handgun, then go through the licensing. But if you're going to say we are going letter of the law Constitution, cool, here's a musket and a bag of powder, move along.
Right.
I'll speak for a well-regulated militia,
exactly.
not your crazy-ass uncle and his bar friends in their backyard.
That is the militia.
Yeah,
that is
there it is.
That exists. Is some guy with a Southern Pride tattoo.
Oh God.
Hey, those are my friends. I could have our producer's from Mississippi, and she's the first one to say it. I'm kidding.
It blows my mind that we can look at those things and continue to kick the can down the road when it comes to health and safety of the American public, right?
Right.
You took money from education. You put a bunch of misinformation online and you don't regulate it in any way. I mean, essentially what you're doing is the dumbing down of a nation. If I had to strategically, if I have to sell a film, I get as much as I can of your attention away from anything else. We are not buying land or fighting to expand land. We're fighting for your time. And being in media, my whole goal is your time and your mind. And you being undereducated now, your kid's not going to school, you are fighting me for their attention, and I'll win because I have shiny things.
Right. And you look at all of that and you say, okay, so now why are they so hell-bent on addressing TikTok as a problem to keep America safe or whatever? Yeah, it's absolutely. It's keeping the money inside the pot because Meta, that owns Facebook and Instagram, is an American company, and they are kicking money into politicians' pockets. So it's not that the information is any different or the dangers are any different. They're probably worse in those spaces because they're so large. But at the end of the day, it's a money grab, and we don't want to see other economies do well because
hey, we do not support espionage. We only support American espionage.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly.
And that's all it is. It's their job. I mean,
no, you're absolutely right.
Plus, Meta sucks. Like Zuckerberg, no offense, dude, your shit blows now. And when you decided to create the metaverse, nobody cared. Like, you are out of touch. You are old. Look at TikTok. You've gotten boring. The only people I know that use Facebook anymore are my grandma and him.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's how it's trending, and they feel the squeeze, right? So it's always like, say, do as I do, or do as I say, not as I do, right?
Right, exactly.
And so I mean, it's kind of funny to me, like we talk about the biggest thing Republicans are banging on right now is the crisis at the border and, immigration and all this kind of stuff. And well, we can't just let people come in here and take our jobs and our land and stuff like that. And I'm like, where do you think that we came from?
It's not like you guys hung out a sign that said, give me your poor, you're starving.
Yeah, right.
It's not like you hung a sign. I mean, come on.
Right. Well, and that's the thing. It's like at some point we just showed up and took a bunch of land from indigenous tribes.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. The Vikings did it to the Indians. The Spanish did it to the Indians. Everyone pretty much fucked with the Indians.
Yeah, and we gave them smallpox blankets too on top.
You guys did it more successfully. And Adolf Humperdinck, because we're not allowed to say his name on Facebook, actually took your idea and applied it to World War II. America did it so successfully, they inspired the guys with the backwards Hindu symbol of life on their arms.
I love history. Which oddly enough, we're losing the ability to teach history. A lot of it's getting cut out.
Yeah, that's getting banned.
Certain things because it's being pushed as too bad for the kids. Honestly, the more they know, the smarter they're going to be. I don't understand why you want to cut things out at all.
Because that's why you teach them, they won't buy the shit I'm selling them. You be quiet.
You know what? I actually had this question early in the beginning. I forgot about it. You being a teacher, have you noticed a change in the newest generation of kids? Because what I hear, especially on social media, is they're a lot more disrespectful. They're hard for them to pay attention to you. Like, I don't know how bad it is from a teacher's perspective because there's different rules from a martial arts coach where I have more liberties to kind of get them to focus. You can punch them in the face. Well,
yeah. So I think there's good and bad change. So I'm fortunate that I work with a lot of really amazing students who, when people are like, oh, can you believe that the next generation is going to lead us someday? I look at a handful of those kids and I go, yeah, I can. And I'm excited about it. Because they're intuitive. They're also really good. They have great BS meters, which I think is actually kind of impressive. Like, if you're fake, they smell it. And it's, so I think that they've gotten a lot better at that. Now, I will say, it has generated a lot of keyboard warriors. I mean, they say a lot of things that, and they feel comfortable saying things in conversation that they would say online. And that's problematic because they don't know how to have good, professional conversations at times. And so there is a disconnect there because everything is kind of internet driven for them. And so, to sit down and to sit across a desk and to look eye to eye, like there's some of that missing for sure.
It might have had to do with the pandemic, though. I mean, if we take like 3 years.
Oh, it certainly did. Yeah.
Because I think my kid ended up like, she's brilliant, great student. But, I think she's a little slow now when she's around other kids. She's just like looking at them. They're looking at her and they're kind of poking each other with sticks. Like, you are way too talk.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, right? They're uncomfortable in
social
these situations. Yeah, in social settings. And I mean, this is why they will decline your phone call and text you and say, "Did you call me?" Yeah. Right? Because they're just so much more comfortable in that digital space than they are.
I totally don't do that if my mom's watching.
Right. Right. But
I get that, dude. Even at my point where I'm not too far involved in the next generation, but I definitely feel like I would prefer a text message over a call nowadays. And maybe it's because of my immersion into social media over the last few years.
Because you're a millennial, and our generation sucks worse than any. I think you're a millennial too, aren't you?
I am. Yeah.
One of us. You suck too.
Yeah. We kind of do. We just we inherited all of like the bad boundaries and bad tactics from our like boomer parents.
Yeah.
And then also we are aware of it now. So now we're all like on antidepressants.
2 recessions, multiple war, our entire lifetime. No chance. Most people have, like, I'm really lucky. He's really lucky, but most people can't even buy a house. It's a different world.
We got gay marriage.
I know. Yeah, I know. Right. But like Gen Z is like, hey, gender, what is it? It's gender is, what is it, Kimberly?
It's fluid.
Gender is fluid.
Gender is fluid.
What is it? Hang on. I'm going to call a Gen Z over.
Gender is fluid. A couple is.
Gender is fluid. There's no such thing as sexuality, and a couple is up to 9 people.
Yeah, and then the politicians are like, okay, you can have gay marriage. Because they went further than we did. We're like, we need gay marriage. They're like, a couple is up to 9 people. So then you got the old guys like, okay, gay marriage it is.
Gay marriage it is, yeah. Well, I mean, they only give centimeters at a time. We turn so slowly. It's like trying to turn the Titanic.
But it goes so far in both directions, and I'm going to say this is going to be deeply unpopular. And it's going both ways. On some things, we are turning so goddamn so sorry, I won't say that in front of you. So slowly. And on the other, we're like, I'm a huge supporter of the transgender community, but I do not believe in giving children hormonal suppressants before puberty, because that stops them from ever being able to orgasm. That even stops them, if they want to have a sex change, from having the physical organs to do it. So on one hand, we've turned so quickly and we don't know what these long-term effects are. And I think the best example we have is from like I Am Jazz. She can't even orgasm because she never went through puberty. And then on the flip side, they're like, no, you can have nothing. I'm like, is there a middle ground?
Yeah.
America, chill.
Well, and I think you said it best. At some point we have to realize there's good science, there's good research, and all of these things do need to take time to take place so that we can give people their best chance at being fulfilled in who they want to be. And so I totally understand that, because at the end of the day, what you're doing in some of those situations is stunning the opportunity for fulfillment for that individual.
And that's it. And I am all for, like, if you want to socially transition, because that's where you are as a kid, go for it. But as a kid, don't do anything that is permanent, because your brain is changing so rapidly. And anything that's going to stop you from ever being able to orgasm or your body to fully develop.
Right.
That's where my line is. I'm like, I know you think you're helping these kids, but it's banned in most of Europe now for a reason. Now, that being said, the minute you turn, at the same as your preservatives in the food. Now, that being said, the minute you turn 18, do whatever the hell you want with your body, but you'll also have the sexual organs. One of the things they were talking about with Jazz was she had been put on the hormonal suppressants. So her penis never grew beyond a 9-year-old. So the tissue wasn't even there for the sex change. And so nothing but problems and revision surgery after revision surgery after revision surgery, and no sex drive. So technically at 9, they chemically castrated this child. So, and I'm like, and the worst part of it is I'm listening to Blair White talk about this. I'm like, how dare you make me agree with Blair White? Shame on you.
Yeah. No,
I have a personal problem there.
Right.
Sorry. That hung a left. You are about the most progressive pastor I've ever heard of. So I know he's not religious. I am. I always tell everyone to follow you. I follow you. Can you give everyone a shout out and tell them where to find you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can on Instagram and TikTok. Those are my 2 biggest platforms. You can just follow me at Pastor from OK. If you're watching right now or watching back later, it's on the screen here. And so would love to connect with you. I just try to make content that shows kindness and compassion and inclusivity for people. And whether you're a religious person or a non-religious person, you're welcome in the space. And I just love interacting and meeting new people and hearing new ideas. And so I appreciate that for sure.
What is the one thing, if you had to say to everyone out there, aside from follow you, because follow him, what is the one thing you'd say to everyone out there?
God's not mad at you. I would say that you're loved, that you're amazing, that you're valuable just the way you are, and that you matter. And don't let anyone tell you that you don't deserve to be loved by God or by anybody else, because you do. And I love you, but more importantly, God loves you, and he's not mad at you.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
I'd love to have you on again. I'd actually love if you can look up like SD Williams and the Tradwife thing. I'd love to get your opinion on that, because I know they're leaning into the religious thing. So your opinion would be invaluable if you don't.
I have already made a note in my phone to go look at this. So
I'm going to drag you on again, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to get Bear some Tums. So thank you.
I feel it. It's sitting like a rock.
By the way, I've come on several times, and I need to give a shout out to one of your people on your team. Alexis Romero is absolutely incredible. She's fantastic to always connect with. So anyway, I would just be remiss this time without giving her a shout out. So
she makes this world go around.
She
honest
does.
To God.
She does. She's not the one that poisons him, but she's the one that puts a show together. So we're very, very lucky to work with amazing people. But I can tell you, we have 30 reality shows we're working on right now, and Alexis is on all of them. And she's the only person I know that could actually keep 30 reality shows that we've got running.
She's incredible. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Guys, make sure you are following him. His information is up there. He's fun. If you are not political, if you are not religious, he's still fun to follow. I got to tell you, I know I swung into the political, so that's my fault. It's Bear's fault. He shouldn't have eaten the chip. He made me do it.
It was just the angry spices coming out.
Coming my way. But make sure you're following him. Check it out. He's brilliant. He's funny and he's kind. And he always shares a message of kindness. So no matter your religion, no matter where you're from, he is a fun one to watch. Bear is, an agnostic and likes to follow and laugh along. So I'm Summer Helene. This is my co-host Bear, the lactose intolerant guy that just ate 40 pounds of ice.
Lactose intolerant Fiorda that ate a whole tub of ice cream, 2 cups of milk, and a spoon of honey. By the way, honey did not help, unfortunately.
Okay. I'm going to get him a bucket and some Tums. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.